The blood-stained wedding dress lay crumpled on the marble floor as Zara collapsed against the bathroom door, her tears flowing uncontrollably. What should have been the happiest night of her life had turned into a nightmare when her new husband, Elijah Stone, coldly revealed the truth. Their marriage was nothing but a business transaction, revenge for what her father had done to his family years ago. "I never loved you," he had whispered in her ear after the reception, his voice like ice as he removed the diamond necklace he'd given her that morning. "Your father destroyed mine, and now I own everything he ever cared about, including you." The stakes couldn't be higher for Zara Williams. In just 24 hours, she had gone from independent gallery owner to trapped wife, signing a prenuptial agreement that would leave her penniless if she tried to escape. But worse than losing her financial security was the crushing realization that the man she'd fallen for over the past 6 months had been playing a calculated game all along. What Zara didn't know was that Elijah was fighting his own battle, one between vengeance and the unexpected feelings developing for the woman he'd married to destroy. Each time he saw her tears, something cracked in his carefully constructed armor. If you're enjoying this emotional roller coaster, hit that like button and let me know in the comments if you've ever misjudged someone's intentions. Zara's phone buzzed with a message from her best friend. "How's the wedding night going? Is he as perfect as he seems?" The irony made her chest ache. She stared at her reflection, her deep brown skin still glowing despite her tears, her carefully styled hair now falling in loose waves around her shoulders. How could she have been so blind? She thought back to their first meeting at the charity auction. Elijah had bid an outrageous amount on one of her gallery's paintings, then asked her to dinner instead of discussing the art. His charm had been irresistible, the way his eyes crinkled when he laughed, how he listened intently when she spoke about her dreams for her gallery. All lies, carefully crafted to gain her trust and lead her to this moment. Zara's fingers trembled as she typed a reply to her friend, "Everything's fine." Another lie to add to the collection surrounding her marriage. She couldn't bear to admit the truth, not yet. Meanwhile, Elijah paced in his study, downing another glass of whiskey. The photograph on his desk showed his father, once a proud businessman, broken after Thomas Williams had stolen his company through corporate espionage. "I did it, Dad," he muttered. "I took everything from him." But the victory felt hollow when he remembered Zara's face crumpling as he revealed his true intentions. He hadn't expected her to look so devastated. In his mind, she'd been complicit in her father's schemes, another privileged daughter benefiting from ill-gotten gains. But the raw pain in her eyes suggested otherwise. For the first time, doubt crept into his certainty. The sound of breaking glass from the master bathroom startled him. He rushed to find Zara kneeling amid shattered perfume bottles, blood trickling from a small cut on her palm. "Don't touch me," she hissed when he reached for her hand. "Haven't you done enough damage tonight?" "You're bleeding," he said flatly, grabbing a towel. "Let me help." "Like you helped my father into an early grave with your accusations?" Her eyes flashed with newfound anger. "He died believing no one trusted him. Was that part of your revenge too?" Elijah froze. "Your father is dead?" This wasn't in his intelligence reports. The man he'd planned to destroy had already been gone for months. The mystery deepened when Zara discovered a hidden letter in Elijah's desk drawer, evidence suggesting her father might not have been the villain in this story after all. Could Elijah have been manipulated into his revenge plot? And if so, by whom? Don't forget to subscribe for more dramatic stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat. 3 weeks into their sham marriage, Zara and Elijah maintained a cold distance in public while privately circling each other like wounded animals. During a charity gala, their carefully constructed facade nearly crumbled when Elijah instinctively caught Zara as she stumbled on the stairs. For one breathless moment, their eyes locked, his hands steady on her waist, her fingers gripping his strong shoulders. "You can let go now," she whispered, though part of her didn't want him to. "What if I don't want to?" he replied, something unfamiliar flickering in his eyes before he quickly released her and stepped away. That night, Zara couldn't sleep, replaying the moment in her mind. The hatred she'd nurtured was becoming complicated by unwelcome attraction. She'd moved into the guest bedroom after their wedding night, but sometimes she could hear him pacing in the master suite, his insomnia matching her own. Elijah's assistant, Maya, had become Zara's unexpected ally, quietly providing information about the company's history. "Something doesn't add up in the records," Maya confided during lunch. "Files are missing from the years when your father supposedly orchestrated the takeover." "Why are you helping me?" Zara asked suspiciously. Maya's expression darkened. "Because I worked for Victor before Elijah, and I've seen how he manipulates people. He practically raised Elijah after his father's breakdown, but there's always been something calculated about his mentorship." The name struck a chord. Victor Blackwood, Elijah's godfather and the current CFO of Stone Enterprises. The man who'd given a toast at their wedding about family loyalty, with a smile that never reached his eyes. The tension between them reached a breaking point when Zara confronted Elijah with what she'd discovered, documents proving his family's company had been failing long before her father's involvement. "You've been lied to," she challenged. "Someone wanted you to blame my father." "These could be forgeries," Elijah argued, though uncertainty clouded his features. "Then explain why your company's stock mysteriously recovered the day after my father died," Zara countered. "Someone benefited from his death, and it wasn't you." Just as Elijah began questioning everything he thought he knew, a mysterious fire broke out at Zara's art gallery, destroying not only her livelihood but also the evidence that could clear her father's name. Was someone else pulling the strings in their tragic story? If this twist shocked you as much as it did Elijah, hit that like button and share your theories in the comments. The gallery fire changed everything. Elijah found Zara standing in the charred remains, clutching a half-burned photograph of her father. "This wasn't random," she said without turning. "Someone knows what we're discovering." For the first time, Elijah placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. "I believe you," he admitted. "And I'm sorry for what I've done to you." Their tentative truce formed as they began investigating together. Security footage from the gallery showed a professional job. Someone had disabled the alarms with insider knowledge. The insurance investigator pointed to arson immediately. "We need to be careful," Elijah warned as they drove home. "If Victor is behind this, he won't stop at destroying evidence." That night, Zara woke to find Elijah asleep in a chair beside her bed, a gun on the nightstand. He'd appointed additional security for the mansion but insisted on personally keeping watch. The gesture touched something deep within her, the first crack in the wall she'd built around her heart. As Zara and Elijah reluctantly joined forces to uncover the truth, their forced proximity began breaking down walls. One night, caught in a thunderstorm while investigating her father's old office, they found themselves sharing secrets, fears, and eventually, a hesitant kiss that neither was prepared for. "I shouldn't trust you," she breathed against his lips. "You shouldn't," he agreed, gently tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. "But I'm starting to think I was wrong about everything, especially you." The kiss deepened, years of misunderstanding and weeks of tension dissolving into something neither had anticipated. When they finally pulled apart, the vulnerability in Elijah's eyes matched her own. "My father wasn't perfect," Zara admitted as they drove home in silence. "But he wasn't a thief. His last words to me were about protecting something important, but he died before explaining what." "My father never recovered from losing the company," Elijah shared. "But what if his breakdown wasn't just from business failure? What if he discovered something that destroyed him?" Their investigation led them to a remote storage facility where Thomas Williams had kept a safety deposit box. Inside, they found encrypted files and a letter addressed to both Zara and Elijah's father. They were working together, Zara realized as they decoded the files. They discovered financial irregularities, money being funneled to offshore accounts. Victor's accounts, Elijah confirmed grimly, examining the banking details. "He was embezzling from both companies and set our fathers against each other when they got too close to the truth." The real villain emerged in a shocking confrontation, Elijah's godfather and mentor, Victor, had orchestrated both families' downfall to gain control of their combined assets. With Zara's life threatened and everything at stake, Elijah had to make an impossible choice between completing his revenge or protecting the woman he was no longer pretending to care for. The confrontation came at the Stone Enterprises annual gala. Victor, cornered with evidence of his crimes, took Zara hostage at gunpoint on the rooftop terrace. "She'll die just like her father did," Victor snarled. "Another tragic accident." "My father's car crash wasn't an accident," Zara realized with horror. "He should have minded his own business," Victor replied coldly. "Just like you should have." Elijah approached slowly, hands raised. "Let her go, Victor. It's me you want." "You were supposed to be my legacy," Victor spat. "I gave you everything after your father's weakness destroyed him." "You gave me lies," Elijah countered. "And used my pain to make me your puppet." In the struggle that followed, Victor lost his footing near the edge of the terrace. Elijah lunged for Zara as Victor fell, managing to grab her hand while Victor disappeared over the edge with a final, chilling scream. The aftermath of Victor's death brought both closure and new beginnings. The police investigation uncovered decades of financial crimes, including evidence that Victor had tampered with the brakes on Thomas Williams' car. Elijah's father, still alive but residing in a care facility after his breakdown, began showing signs of improvement when the truth about his former business partner came to light. He wasn't crazy after all, Elijah told Zara one evening as they sat by the fireplace in what had become their shared living room. He suspected Victor all along, but no one believed him. "Our fathers were trying to protect each other," Zara said softly, leaning against his shoulder. "Just like you protected me." Their relationship evolved slowly, healing from its toxic beginning. Elijah moved his things into the guest room, giving Zara space while they rediscovered each other without the lies between them. Their first real date, not for show or manipulation, was a simple dinner at home, cooking together in the kitchen with music playing and genuine laughter replacing the tension that had defined their early days. "I never thought I could feel this way," Elijah confessed one night as they walked along the beach near their home. "I spent so many years focused on revenge that I forgot how to actually live." Zara squeezed his hand. "We both lost years to Victor's manipulation. But we don't have to lose any more." The art gallery was rebuilt, this time as a joint venture between them, a space showcasing emerging artists and featuring a special exhibition honoring both their fathers' legacies. At the opening night, Elijah watched Zara in her element, captivating the crowd with her knowledge and passion, and realized how close he'd come to destroying something beautiful before it had a chance to truly begin. The wedding night that began with tears transformed into something neither expected when, 6 months later, Elijah knelt before Zara with his grandmother's ring, this time with no hidden agendas or secrets between them. "I married you for all the wrong reasons," he said, his voice breaking. "Let me spend the rest of my life giving you all the right ones." Their second wedding was intimate, just close friends and family gathered at sunset on the beach. Zara wore a simple ivory gown that caught the golden light, and Elijah couldn't take his eyes off her as she walked toward him, her smile genuine and full of promise. "I never thought I'd say these words and mean them," she whispered as they exchanged vows, "but I love you, Elijah Stone, not the man who married me for revenge, but the man who chose love over hatred when it mattered most." Their story wasn't about a heartless billionaire after all, but about two people finding truth and healing in the most unexpected place, with each other. Together, they rebuilt both family companies, established a foundation in their fathers' names, and transformed their forced union into a partnership stronger than either could have imagined. 2 years later, as they welcomed their first child, a daughter with her mother's deep brown eyes and her father's determined chin, Elijah reflected on how differently their story could have ended. "Sometimes," Zara told a reporter on their first anniversary, "the worst beginning leads to the most beautiful journey." Elijah squeezed her hand, the matching wedding bands catching the light. "And sometimes," he added, "the person you think is your enemy becomes the one you can't live without." Their foundation's first major project was a scholarship program for children affected by corporate fraud, turning their painful past into hope for others. The annual gala became a celebration not just of their business success but of their personal triumph over the manipulation that nearly destroyed them both. "We're not defined by what was done to us," Elijah often said in interviews, "but by what we choose to do with our second chances." And as they stood together on the balcony of their home, watching the sunset with their daughter sleeping peacefully in Zara's arms, they knew that some love stories don't begin with love at all, but end with a love stronger than either could have imagined. If this journey touched your heart, please like, subscribe, and share with someone who believes in second chances. What was your favorite moment in Zara and Elijah's story? Let me know in the comments below.